The first one would be the 10-finger grip, which looks like this. I'm going to switch to a different camera so you can see this. Here's the 10-finger grip, and so that's all the fingers on the club, and I'll bring it down here so you can see it down here. So again, 10 fingers. Bring it down here so you can see it. So there are 10 fingers on the club. This is not a recommended grip unless you have very small hands, or often for kids. The two, now I'll show you the other two grips. This is the first one. This is an overlapping grip. So I've got the pinky of my bottom hand overlapping. It can be on the back. So here's the index finger of my left hand. So the pinky of my right hand can either sit on the back, or it could sit sort of between there. This tends to be, depends upon how flexible you are and if it's comfortable. I don't want you to feel like this finger is straining, so it can be there or there. Now, again, from the back, the interlocking grip is going to be this. So the pinky of the right hand interlocks with the index finger of the left hand. Now, looking from the front, here's the interlocking grip. Here's the overlapping grip. Probably doesn't look much different. Here's the 10-finger grip. Doesn't look much different. So the important things here, and switch back to the other camera. Okay. So the important things here are that when the shaft of the club, back a little bit here, when the shaft of the club is in line with the left forearm, and the ball, I'm going to just assume this is a wedge, so I'm going to assume the ball position would be in the middle. So the V formed by the thumb and index finger here points up towards my right shoulder. And when I put my other hand on, my right hand on, you'll see that that V, so now we've got this V pointing in the same place. So it's very important that as you put the right hand on, you don't get this opposing the left. So it doesn't matter if we've got the 10-finger, the overlap, or the interlock, we still want those V's pointed in the same place. Now, in terms of the right hand position, so again, I'm going to go back to the other camera so you can see this. So this part, put the camera down a little bit for you. This part's really important. So I'm moving my green screen here. Okay, so this part's really important. When we look from, let's say, from this side, you'll see that the middle two fingers of my right hand are holding the club, and particularly with an interlocking grip, you often get a deep interlock, and so now actually these middle two fingers, you can see here, they're gripping my thumb, not the club. So it's important that whether you have an interlock or an overlap, that these middle two fingers are actually on the grip, so that I'm not gripping this left thumb like that, because that will mean that you can't get the right hand in the correct place. I'll go back to the other camera again here. At least I'm going to try to go back to the other camera. Okay. And so the position of the hands here, it's very important that we get this V here together. So I've almost sort of got a pinch between my thumb and index finger, so that when the hand goes onto the club, I'm really holding it on this support little V position here. I don't want this to be open like this. If this is open, the club will move into that gap, and we don't want that. Similarly, I don't want my thumb on top of the grip, because that will cause problems at the top of the backswing. So we want that little V there, and we want the hands to stay in the same place. One of the big keys during the swing is that the position and the pressure of your hands stay the same, so that my hands are in this position here when I get to the top of the backswing, You're still in the same position, and particularly here, we want the hands together. So I don't want my right hand coming apart or changing. So if the hand moves, then obviously the position and pressure have both changed. And ideally, when we get to the finish, the hands would be in the same position. You may have seen a tour player from time to time hit a not very good shot, and sometimes as they come through, it'll be like this, and the right hand will come off the club. But I guarantee you've never seen this, where the left hand comes off the club. So keeping your hands in the same position, in the same place on the golf club is just critical. I can't stress how important that is. Also, the amount of grip pressure. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the absolute tightest you could hold it, and 1 feels like it's going to slip out of your hands, then we want the grip pressure to be about a 4. So even if it was 1, if you maintained it at 1, you would not let go of the club. But obviously, in order to be feel it secure and to be comfortable with it, you're going to have a little bit more grip pressure. But it's important that it's 4 here at address, and that it's 4 up here at the top of the backswing, and that it's 4 as it comes down and through, and then it's also 4 in the finish. So one of the things you could do as a little drill is if you set up for a little chip and you went back, say, about this far, so the club head's not quite up to waist high, and it comes through to around about the same position, my grip pressure and position feel the same. So what's moving the club here is turning my chest, turning my hips. I'm not moving the golf club with my hands. As many of you will remember, when you hit a bad shot, it's almost always because the hands are doing work that the body should be doing. And that's not the hand's fault, it's the fault of the body. The body didn't show up for work, somebody had to do the work, it's going to be the hands. And typically, it's going to be the right hand. Even if you're a left-handed person, if you're playing golf right-handed, your right hand's going to want to get involved and be in control of the club. The other drill for you to try is this. If you hold the club in your left hand and you just have your right very light and you swing to the top of the backswing, you want this right hand to be in the same place. Many of you would find that if you did this, that here's what would happen. The right hand would go up here, because this is the range of motion of my left arm, but this is the range of motion of my right arm. So I need to train my right arm and hand to be going to the same place. So if I did this without a golf club and I just put my hands kind of together like this, just touching, now I can swing back and my hands go to the same place. If I do this and my hands come apart like this, then my hands are not in agreement as to where the top of the backswing is. So you need to use the range of motion of your left arm and left shoulder to determine where that should be at the top of the backswing, so you can swing back and swing through and keep your hands together so they're not fighting on the golf club. Incredibly important. Now, the next thing as far as alignment is when you set up and you've got this alignment. So if I turn to the side here, it's very important that your forearms here are parallel with your feet. So if you came and laid a club across my forearms halfway between the elbow and the wrist, that club or that stick, if you have one of those alignment sticks, that should be parallel with the feet and the target line. Very often, particularly with a driver, as the ball position gets more to the left, I see people and they look like this. So the right arm gets high. If you laid that club across my arms now, then it's going to point 20 or 30 degrees left. So everything else being equal, the plane of your swing will match the alignment of your forearms. So if you set up with forearms that are aligned to the left, then you're probably going to get an outside in swing path, will most likely be steep, a descending blow at impact, which with a driver is really bad news. You're going to get too much spin and you're going to lose distance, you're going to lose quality of contact. It's very, very bad. It's the #1 cause of bad drives and of slicing actually in amateur golfers, is that when they set up, the alignment is incorrect. So your feet, your club face, your pelvis, your chest, your forearms, and your eye line should all be parallel. If these are not parallel, so for example, if I bring my right arm up, what you'll also see is that I lose my spine tilt. So I want this spine tilt. I've got about 6 or 8 degrees of tilt to the right here. So I want that spine tilt to be there. If I allow my right arm to come up, I lose the spine tilt. So now I'm going to get that outside in descending blow in my swing, which is no good. We don't want that. So very important that we keep that alignment correct.